now's a good opportunity to talk about the Scottish Cup. You know, we've had the first half here in the league, 2-1 up against Ross County, but let's talk about the Scottish Cup. We managed to get ourselves a first win in the Cup against Stenhousemuir last week, a 4-0 victory. What did you make of that, Adam, against not the greatest opposition, but we had to get the job done, didn't we?
No, we had to, and when you're playing a lower league team like that, that's all you can ask for, isn't it? You do the job professionally, confidently, and we got it. How would it have gone if we didn't have Kyle Lafferty? It's a completely separate issue, but at the end of the day, 4-0, no problems through to the next round, and we've been rewarded with a very good draw.
Well, let's talk about that draw then. As the snow begins to fall in the middle of April, no less, here at Rugby Park. First of all, you're looking at the draw, you're like, please no Rangers, please no Aberdeen. We've had enough of that in recent seasons. We got the Stenhousemuir draw, which we'd have loved if there was no COVID, wouldn't we? And then we find ourselves at home to Montrose, which is probably one of the better ties in the hat, wasn't it? So first of all, let's talk about that Montrose tie and what it means for Killie. They're doing well in League One, Montrose, but you should expect Killie at Rugby Park to be able to get into that quarter-final.
Well, I mean, when you're in the Cup, you're in the latter stages. The best you can ask for is a home game against a lower league team, and that's exactly what we got in the next round. So, I mean, we should be winning it. It'll be harder than, the Stenhousemuir game, absolutely no doubt about that. But if we can keep up the form that we've been having and we can keep all our players fit, have Kyle Lafferty playing in that game, then I see no reason why we can't progress to the next round where we're going to talk about it. Another fantastic tie, let's be honest.
Yeah, and before we talk about the next round, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much. The other big crucial thing, Rangers and Celtic face each other next week in the Cup. So straight away, one of the big guns drop out of the tournament. And I was concerned because we were the last tie out, weren't we, in that draw? And Rangers and Celtic were still in it, Aberdeen were still in it, and you're like, oh no, what are we going to end up here? Lo and behold, Rangers draw Celtic, Aberdeen draw, I forget who they drew, but we ended up at home in Montrose. So a great situation for Killie that we might have one of the old firm out early doors.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, to win the Cup, you've got to beat the best team in there. That will probably be one of the old firm and the likes of Aberdeen, Hibs. You've got to beat them to win the Cup. It's as simple as that. You're not going to get to the final, or you're not going to win the whole thing without beating the best teams. But to have Aberdeen have a tough draw, I think, that they've got, and then have Celtic and Rangers playing each other so early on, one of them going out is absolutely fantastic, not just for us, but for everyone else as well, because it gives everyone such a greater chance of being at Hampden in the final against either Rangers, Celtic, Aberdeen, the likes of that. So fantastic draw all round, I think, not just for us, but for Scottish football in general.
And then onto that quarter-final draw then, which, it's not often that they get paired together, but because it's all crammed in because of COVID, and of course all the League One and League Two missing out on their games, we ended up with a great draw against either St Mirren or Inverness, which is probably, when all the ties come out, probably the weakest pairing that was left, especially to get them at home as well, because their away form this season has not been great. And it is a great opportunity. We don't know if we will get through at Montrose, but if we do, a home tie against St Mirren or Inverness, even for this Kilmarnock side, as it stands at the minute, is a winnable tie and an opportunity to get to Hampden. And we all know what happened last time we got to a major Scottish Cup semi, or either cup, a semi-final or a final, we went on to win it.
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't ask for much more, could we? As you say, the weakest pairing in the whole tie. We managed to get it at home as well, which was huge. You'd think Inverness, they're doing really well in the Championship, 6 games unbeaten. They're obviously playing this afternoon as well, but they're flying. They could beat St Mirren quite easily, or not quite easily, but there could be a good match-up there. So I think either team, if we were to get either one of them,
it's a winnable game.
I think it's a winnable game, absolutely, at home. And, people have been saying it ever since the Stenhousemuir game. The last time that a Kilmarnock player scored a hat-trick in the Scottish Cup, 1997. The last time Rangers and Celtic played each other in the 4th round, 1997. And we all know what happened that year in terms of Kilmarnock in the Scottish Cup. So everything seems to be coming together.
Yeah.
But we dare to dream, but, we'll have to just wait and see.
It has been the season from hell up till now, hasn't it, really? I mean, we've been on this channel going off or not, well, especially me, I've been going mental. But finally, something to be positive about, and a genuine opportunity for us to go to Hampden Park. I mean, what do you think? Do you think we can do it? Do you think Hampden Park semi-final minimum should be the target from here? Anything else is a failure in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no reason why we couldn't. Obviously, St Mirren is going to be the toughest test there if they manage to get through against Inverness. They just narrowly missed out in the top 6, and they have been pretty good for most of the season. But in a one-off game against St Mirren at the minute, I don't see why we should fear them, to be honest. And getting to Hampden, we've been there a couple of times in the last couple of decades. But for the League Cup and the last 2 appearances, Scottish Cup something completely different, isn't it? That's seen as the prestigious trophy, the one that everyone wants to win. and get to the latter stages in. And it'd be great to get there. And at the end of the day, if we go to Hampden semi-final, one game, who knows what's going to happen if we end up playing, one of the Old Firm, Aberdeen, Hibs, anyone else, to be honest.
Yep.
No reason why we couldn't get to the final, but we've got to get through first Montrose and then second, whoever comes out of St Mirren and Inverness.
Yeah, absolutely. But I maintain what I said. When you get a draw like that in the Scottish Cup, when you've got the Old Firm playing each other, don't care how well you're playing in the league that season, if you're Kilmarnock and you're looking at those two ties, minimum semi-final. It's got to be the minimum. Anything else, and Tommy Wright and the boys will be disappointed. They will be, and the fans will be disappointed. I don't think that's an unrealistic target at this stage. There's been so many times where we've missed out. I think last season we were here against Hibs in the Cup, or was it under Alessio? I forget.
Yeah.
And we lost out in a penalty shootout. We were on the brink of Hampden. We should have beat Aberdeen here in the Scottish, losing on penalties in a quarter-final, and also losing against Aberdeen here last season, the final game where we had fans here. I think that was the round before the quarterfinals. I think losing here. So we've had so many near misses in recent years since we won the League Cup to get back to Hampden. And what an opportunity it is. But obviously the fans won't get to be there. UEFA announcing this week that won't happen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully there'll be some kind of joy at the end of the season. And if we can get a win today in the league against County, it'll ease the pressure and we can focus a bit more on the Cup, because I think I'm right in saying that the next 2 weeks are Cup weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, if we can get the win today, and obviously, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, that would be big coming into the next 2 weeks. So, looking forward to it. But at the end of the day, we're saying the issue a minimum for us to get to the semi-final. A lot of other clubs will be thinking the same because of that Rangers-Celtic pairing. The draw is completely opened up for a lot of teams, for a lot of lower league Premiership clubs, and even the likes of Aberdeen, Dundee United, Hibs, St Mirren, St Johnstone, all those kind of teams, and Hearts are out as well. So the draw is completely opened up for a lot of small teams that don't often get the chance to go to Hampden. We are, of course, one of them. So bring it on, and we'll be hoping to at least make it to Hampden, and who knows, maybe even further.
Yeah, and as you said, with the one-off games as well. I mean, if I remember that run correctly in the League Cup, it was East 5 quarter-finals, I think. Ayr in the semi-finals, lower league opposition. So lower league opposition again for Killie against Stenhousemuir, then Montrose, and then potentially lower league opposition again in the quarter-finals to get to semis. So you're right, as long as you dispatch the smaller teams and you can get to that semi-final. I know St Mirren's not a smaller team, should we face them. But if you can get those results, anything can happen on a one-off day at Hampden Park. And that's got to be the target if we can get that far. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to say, even if we don't get to the final or get to the semi-final, a decent cup run into the quarter-finals is still pretty good.
I'm not buying
it. No, maybe not for you, but I think with the season we've had, it's a slight positive that we've been able to dispatch. I know it's lower league teams, but with the season we've had and the way we've played at some points, it was never a given to get past Stenhousemuir, and it won't be a given to get past Montrose.
Yeah.
In either Inverness or St Mirren. So as far as we can go, that would be great. And if we can go even further, then fantastic.
Well, let us know, folks. One team in Ayrshire, let us know. What do you think, Kilmarnock fans? Would you like to see us get to a quarter-final minimum, semi-final minimum, go all the way and win it? Whatever. What would be an acceptable cup run for Killie this season, given how we've played on the field, and also given the draw we've got? For me personally, I'm going semi. You're saying quarter. Yeah.
I mean, no, I'll say semi-final as well. I think the quarter-final will be tough against St Mirren. It is at home, obviously, but St Mirren can play. St Mirren can be very good when they want to be. It's just which team turns up. So we'll find out over the next 2 weeks, and we'll see what happens. We could come back here in the league and be in a cup semi-final.
Yeah,
here's hoping.